Sometimes the sources you send us are fascinating, and sometimes, honestly, they're a bit out there.
Right.
But this ODCP thing,
Yeah.
this one feels different. Like we're about to step into a whole new dimension of thought.
I can see why you'd say that. It's not every day we get to explore a model of reality where theology and quantum physics kind of become unlikely allies.
That's what really hooked me.
Mm.
I mean, we're diving into the intersection of science, theology, and philosophy
Right.
with something called the Omniscient Divine Energy Consciousness Paradigm, ODCP for short, because honestly, who has time for all those syllables?
It's a mouthful.
Right.
Yeah, but behind the name is this really intriguing idea. What if the universe, at its most fundamental level, is the expression of this divine energy consciousness?
Okay, unpack that for me. We're not talking about like lightning bolts and meditation retreats here, are we?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Energy and consciousness, as we understand them, are like two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
And this coin, this is what the ODCPP points to as like the fundamental building block of existence.
So instead of matter being the foundation, it's this energy consciousness. What does that even mean?
Imagine, if you can, energy existing as pure potential even before the concepts of space and time as we experience them even came into being.
Okay.
This potential is aware, conscious, hence the term divine energy consciousness.
Okay, see, now you're just messing with me, right?
Hey.
Things existing before time existed. That's some next level brain twister stuff.
It's a mind bender for sure. But the ODCP uses this idea to reimagine the very act of creation. What if the Big Bang wasn't the beginning, but rather a transformation, an emergence of our universe from this pre-existing divine energy consciousness?
So instead of the universe being like a cake that suddenly appeared, it's more like the ingredients, the flour, the sugar, the eggs, that potential was always there in this divine energy consciousness. And the Big Bang was just the moment it all came together in the oven.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ODCP proposes that this energy consciousness is the ultimate source, the wellspring from which everything arises. And this source isn't just powerful, it's also aware. It's conscious.
Okay, now that is a pretty wild concept. There's a lot to unpack, even for a deep dive like ours.
Right.
I think we need to break it down a bit.
Okay, yeah.
What are the key principles, the core beliefs that make up this ODZP thing?
Well, one of the most significant is the idea of divine omniscience.
Okay.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
What?
God knows everything. Classic theology.
Right.
But the ODCP takes omniscience to a whole other level.
Go on, blow my mind. What's beyond just knowing everything?
It's not just about knowing all the facts, but about encompassing all potential knowledge. Imagine a being that doesn't just know every grain of sand on Earth, but also every possible arrangement those grains could form.
Wow.
That's the kind of knowledge we're talking about here.
Okay, that's a serious upgrade from knowing what I had for breakfast.
Right. And this connects to another key concept, the hierarchy of physical law.
Hierarchy? You mean like some laws are more important than others?
Precisely. We tend to think of the laws of physics, gravity, thermodynamics, as the most fundamental rules of the universe. But the ODCP proposes that these laws, while important in our corner of reality, might actually be subordinate to something deeper, something more primordial.
Okay, you've officially lost me. What could be deeper than the laws of physics? Those seem pretty fundamental to me.
And they are, in our world, in our reality as we perceive it.
Okay.
But what if our reality is just one expression of this divine energy consciousness? Like one set of rules in a much grander game.
You're talking about those multiple realms again, aren't you? Like other universes with their own sets of laws.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yep.
If this energy consciousness is truly infinite, if it encompasses all potential, wouldn't it make sense for it to express itself in an infinite number of ways? Our universe, with its familiar laws of physics, would be just one bubble in an endless, like, cosmic foam bath.
Okay, that's a trippy visual. So you're saying there could be universes where gravity works in reverse, where time moves backward, where like you and I are actually talking in a language that sounds like whales singing opera.
Well, now you're just getting carried away with the possibilities.
Right.
But honestly, we don't know what we don't know. The ODCP invites us to consider that our understanding of reality, based on our limited senses and scientific instruments, might be just the tip of an unfathomably vast iceberg.
And this divine energy consciousness, it exists in all of these realms.
Yes.
It's the common thread that connects everything.
That's the implication, yeah. And here's where it gets even wider. The ODCP also tackles those big, hairy concepts of time and entropy.
Entropy, isn't that like a measure of disorder?
Exactly.
Okay.
The second law of thermodynamics tells us that in any closed system, entropy will always increase over time. Things naturally move from order to disorder,
Right.
but the ODCP suggests that this divine energy consciousness exists outside of those constraints, beyond our typical understanding of linear time.
So it's not bound by the same rules as our sock drawers.
Right.
That almost makes sense in a weird way. If this energy consciousness is the source of everything, it can't be bound by the rules of the very thing it created, right?
You're on the right track. The ODCP suggests that this divine energy consciousness transcends our usual categories of past, present, and future. It's eternal, encompassing all possibilities, all times, simultaneously.
My brain hurts. So how does a being, or an energy, or a consciousness that exists outside of time even begin to think about creating something? I mean, if there's no before and after, doesn't the whole idea of creation kind of fall apart?
That's where the ODCP gets really interesting.
Okay.
It asks us to consider that maybe, just maybe, creation wasn't a one-time event, a Big Bang that happened billions of years ago. Maybe creation is a continuous, ongoing process, an emanation of this divine energy consciousness that's happening even now.
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting that the Big Bang might not have been the beginning?
It might be more accurate to say that the Big Bang, as we understand it, was a transition point, a shift in the way this divine energy consciousness was expressing itself.
Okay.
Think about it. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another.
Okay, you've definitely flipped the script on that one. So if we're talking about the Big Bang as a transformation rather than a beginning, what exactly was being transformed? And how does that tie back to this whole energy consciousness idea?
That's where we dive even deeper into the ODCP. It suggests that the Big Bang wasn't about something coming from nothing, but about something incredibly subtle, shifting into something else, something equally profound.
Okay, I'm going to need you to elaborate on that one.
Okay.
So we're talking about a transformation, but a transformation of what? What was the before picture if the Big Bang wasn't the very beginning?
That's where things get really interesting. You see, the ODCP suggests that the universe wasn't created from nothing, but rather emerged from a pre-existing state of pure potentiality within the divine energy consciousness.
So instead of a void, there was this potential energy just waiting to become something.
Exactly. Imagine a boundless ocean of pure potentiality, a realm where everything that could ever be already exists as a possibility within the divine energy consciousness. The Big Bang, then, wasn't a creation out of nothing, but a shift, a fluctuation within this ocean of potentiality that caused a specific set of possibilities to become actualized. Our universe, with its particular laws of physics and its potential for life and consciousness.
Okay, that's a pretty radical way of looking at it. So the Big Bang wasn't the universe exploding into being, but more like a wave forming in this ocean of potential.
That's a great way to think about it. And just like a wave carries energy but isn't separate from the ocean, our universe, according to the ODCP, is a distinct expression of this divine energy consciousness, not separate from it.
So where does this leave us? If our universe is just one wave in this vast ocean of potential measured, what does that mean for our understanding of reality? And more importantly, what does it mean for us?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The ODCP doesn't provide all the answers, but it opens up some incredible avenues for exploration. For starters, it challenges us to expand our understanding of what's possible. If our universe emerged from this realm of pure potentiality, what other possibilities might be out there? What other universes with different laws of physics, different forms of life might exist within this grand interconnected tapestry of existence?
It's almost too much to imagine, but it also feels strangely hopeful. If this divine energy consciousness is the source of everything, and if we are in some way expressions of that same source, then maybe there's a deeper connection between us and the cosmos than we ever realized.
That's the heart of the ODCP. It invites us to see ourselves not as isolated beings in an indifferent universe, but as integral parts of a vast interconnected web of existence woven together by this fundamental energy consciousness.
We started this deep dive with a mouthful of a name, the Omniscient Divine Energy Consciousness Paradigm. And I have to admit, my brain is feeling a little full, but full in a good way, like I've just tasted something completely new and unexpected.
And that, I think, is the power of exploring these kinds of ideas. They challenge our assumptions, push us beyond our comfort zones, and remind us that the universe is far stranger, far more wondrous than we could ever imagine.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. If the ODECP is correct and our reality is just one expression of this infinite divine energy consciousness, what other possibilities might be out there waiting to be discovered, waiting to be explored? Until next time, keep asking those big questions.